Modern tennis is 150 years old. In that time, it has had heroes, trailblazers, serial winners, entertainers, inspirations, activists, young sensations, veteran champions, and a select few who changed the way the game is played. There is only one who can claim to fit every category: Serena Jameka Williams, the single most important figure in tennis history. Now, this is not one of those pointless greatest of all time debates. While Serena has the votes of many, there will be others who would justifiably fight the corners of Martina Navratilova, Margaret Court, Steffi Graf, Billie Jean King, Chris Evert, or others. No, this is about the indelible mark one woman has left on tennis, greater than anyone, male or female. Serena's numbers alone are staggering. 23 Grand Slam singles titles, the most in the Open era, 39 when adding in doubles, beaten only by Martina Navratilova. In addition, 365 Grand Slam singles matches won, eclipsing all others. 2 Channel Slams, making her one of only 3 women to have won both Roland Garros and Wimbledon in the same year more than once. A career Golden Slam in both singles and doubles, no one else has done that. 186 consecutive weeks as the WTA World Number 1, matching a Steffi Graf record, and she is also the only player, male or female, to have won 3 of the 4 slams at least 6 times. On all the key measurables, she is either an all-time leader or among the front runners. Thus, her place in history merely as a tennis player is assured. But Serena transcends her sport. Many of the other tennis legends do too, but not quite in the same way. Serena Williams first picked up a racket at the age of 4. She has been both a young sensation, winning her first Grand Slam aged 17 at the end of the last millennium, and a veteran stateswoman still collecting majors another 17 years later. It's a success span recognised by Guinness World Records. Roger Federer, born in the same year as Serena, was a relative latecomer at 21 when he first won a major. Both are credited with taking tennis to a different plane and driving up standards. But while Federer's influence was more about regenerating a game style, Serena changed the way women's tennis was played full stop, in a way never seen before. The arrival of Serena and her elder sister Venus in the late 1990s ushered in a new era of greater athleticism, granite-like mental strength, and power hitting in the women's game. The serve in particular took on greater significance. In 1989, only 2 women had hit serves officially measured at over 100 miles per hour. By 2004, that number had risen to 151. The blend of accuracy, speed, and spitting venom in Serena's serve made it such a potent weapon it is now widely regarded as the best of all time. Their rivals knew they needed to up their game. Venus and Serena raised the bar for everyone. We all had to go back to the gym. Younger players saw that, and now they're hitting harder and harder. Kim Clijsters, then the world number 3, told the New York Times in 2010. Suddenly, the physical profile of the most successful female players started to change. In the 40 years before Serena's first Grand Slam final, only 3 Wimbledon winners, Margaret Court, Steffi Graf and Lindsay Davenport, were over 5'9". But in the next 20 years, only 3, Marion Bartoli, Angelique Kerber and Simona Halep, were under 5'9". At the end of 2010, after a decade of the Williams sisters, 7 of the world's top 10 were Serena's height or taller. There were exceptions, of course. 7-time Grand Slam winner Justine Henin stood at 5'5", but her wide variety of shots and court coverage regularly troubled Serena, particularly on clay. Henin won 6 of their 14 meetings, and in 2015 she revealed what she did technically, tactically, and mentally to match Serena's level. "It's a lot of work going back on court every day and thinking about the little details," she told ESPN. "Sometimes it was in my grip, 1 or 2 millimeters I could change to get a better forehand. I was trying to put more pressure on heavy balls, trying to play very deep and push her back. I was trying to change the rhythm, trying to come to the net, slice a little bit. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it wasn't enough, because what is very tough with Serena is that mentally she can play her best points in the important moments. Of course, sometimes I was a little bit scared to play against her, but I always try to break this limit." Halep, a former world #1 in the latter half of Serena's career, had a much worse head-to-head record against the American, but famously beat her 6-2, 6-2 in the 2019 Wimbledon final. After that victory, she revealed she, too, had struggled mentally against Serena in the past. "I always have been intimidated a little bit when I faced Serena," admitted Halep. "She's an inspiration for everyone and the model for everyone. Today I decided before the match that I'm going to focus on myself and on the final of a Grand Slam, not on her. That's why I was able to play my best, to be relaxed and to be able to be positive and confident against her." Of course, the Serena story, and her influence on both the tennis circuit and the wider world, can't be discussed without her activism, particularly on race and gender. The two sisters wasted little time in making their mark on a predominantly white sport. And in an era where the top players are criticised for merely playing lip service to causes, Serena has put her money where her mouth is. Quite literally given her Serena Ventures company, which has invested in more than 50 firms that embrace diverse leadership and individual creativity. From her firm support for equal pay and the 14-year boycott of Indian wells after treatment she believed was racially motivated, to her belief in body positivity and inclusive voices in business, Serena has been a consistent driver for change. "Someone in my position can show women and people of colour that we have a voice because Lord knows I use mine," Serena said in 2020. "I love sticking up for people and supporting women, being the voice that millions of people don't have." Serena is far from the first in that regard. She herself admitted, "I'm playing because someone else stood up." Arthur Ashe was a celebrated advocate for black people in the US and South Africa, Billie Jean King a fighter for gender equality, but Serena has managed to combine her activism with unrivaled on-court success, while inspiring and empowering a generation of young black and minority ethnic players. "If Serena wasn't there, then I wouldn't be here," Naomi Osaka said in 2020. "I think a lot of players would say the same thing. I get very shy when she's 10 feet away from me." Of the two Williams sisters, teenager Coco Gauff said, "You cannot fathom how many people they touched." Serena's success has, of course, brought her unparalleled levels of fame, money, and influence. Her influence on the tennis world was highlighted by the open letter she wrote in 2016, pleading for the future of the Miami Open, which had been under threat following legal wrangles. As a celebrity, Serena is one of the most recognisable, bankable, and sought-after people in the world. A fashion icon through the various outfits she has worn on and off court over the years, she now boasts her own clothing line. She has appeared on a number of TV shows and music videos, as a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador and a generous charitable philanthropist, setting up her own foundation to aid education in underprivileged communities in the US, Caribbean, and Africa. She has achieved all of this while still suffering the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune that so many elite sports people go through, including dips in form, injury layoffs, and even twice suffering a pulmonary embolism, first in 2011 and then in 2017 after the birth of her baby Olympia. Being a world-class tennis player requires selfishness. It's part of the job description. Being a mother is the opposite. Your focus is always on someone else. Yet again though, Serena balanced the two jobs, reaching the final of both Wimbledon and the US Open before her daughter had even turned 1. After her Wimbledon run, she said, "I dedicated that to the mums out there who've been through a lot. Some days I cry. I've had meltdowns. It's been a really tough 11 months. If I can do it, you guys can do it too." Margaret Court, Kim Clijsters, and Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley all won slams as mothers. You would not put it beyond Serena to join them. Serena's life story is one of triumph against the odds, a journey from disruptive young whirlwind to part of the sport's glittering establishment, consistent, unmatched achievement against a background of personal challenge and tragedy, particularly when half-sister Yetunde was shot dead in 2003. It's enough to fill the pages of numerous autobiographies. And yet she told Time in 2018, "I'm not done yet. My story doesn't end here." When the book is finally closed, its synopsis will be simple. Serena, the most important tennis player there's ever been.